this world were mine.
Hey, Roman numeral 7, babe, drop it like it's hot. If this world was mine, I'd take your dreams and make them multiply. If this world was mine, I'd take your enemies in front of God. Introduce them to that light, hit them strictly with that fire.
So heavy lah. Oh, hey, sorry. Can I help you? Hi Divya, can I sit here? Yeah, sure. Alright. Divya, yesterday I helped you carry your books, right? So today you must give me around 20. What? But I didn't ask you to help me yesterday. Stop. That is not valid consideration. Huh? Why? Because that is past consideration. Normally it is not valid unless under special exceptions.
Hi everyone, today our group will be explaining the legal concept of consideration, which is one of the essential elements of a valid contract. According to Section 2D of the Contract Act 1950, consideration is defined as when at the desire of the promisor, the promisee does or abstains from doing something, or promises to do or abstain from doing something, such as act or abstinence is called consideration for the promise. Let's take Asha as a promiser and Ali as a promisee. Promiser thinks that at my desire, I want you to do something. For example 1, we can say that promisee hands over money to promiser. So, promisee does something here, which is consideration. And now let's look into second example for abstaining, which means not doing something. We can see that promisee tries to act but puts hands up like stop. So we can say promisee abstains from doing something, and this is consideration. In simple words, consideration means something of value exchanged between parties, such as money, goods, services, or even a promise. It basically answers the question, what are you giving me in return for the promise?
In this scene, I'll be explaining Section 26 of the Contract Act. Normally, an agreement without consideration is considered void. However, there are a few important exceptions where such agreements can still be valid. Let's look at those exceptions one by one. Rule number 1. Need not be adequate. According to the Contract Act, consideration does not need to be equal in value. It only needs to have some legal value. This rule was shown in the case Pang Sui Kim v. Bae Hock Singh. Rule number 2. Need not move from promisee. Consideration does not need to come from the promisee. A third person can provide the consideration and the contract is still valid, according to the Venkatachanaya v. Verikataramaya case. Rule number 3. Past consideration is valid. In Malaysia, past consideration can be valid. This means that if the act was done earlier, it may still be considered consideration. In case Kepong Prospecting Limited v. Schmidt. Rule number 4. Part payment may be valid. Part payment of debt may also be considered valid consideration, as long as both parties agree. These are the 4 rules of consideration under the Contract Act 1950. consideration need not be adequate, consideration need not move from promisee, past consideration may be valid in Malaysia, part payment of debt can be valid consideration. In this scene, I'll be explaining section 26 of the Contract Act. Normally, an agreement without consideration is considered void. However, there are a few important exceptions where such agreements can still be valid. Let's look at those exceptions one by one. Exception 1. Natural love and affection. Here you can see husband agrees to transfer property to wife. Exception 2. Past voluntary act. If someone did something voluntarily before and later the promisor agrees to compensate, it is valid. Exception 3. Legal duty. A agrees to pay B for a duty B is already required to perform. Exception 4. Statute barred debt. A debtor promises to pay even after time expires, still enforceable.
Now we will explain the case Pang Sui Kim v. Bey Hock Sing.
I owned a piece of land many years ago. I signed the document agreeing to transfer that land to Bey Hock Sing for only RM500. The land was clearly worth much more than RM500, but during that time, I agreed to accept this small amount. I paid the 500 ringgit consideration. We both signed the document. Later, when I wanted the land transferred, Pang refused. He argued that the 500 was too small and that the agreement should not be enforced.
In this case, 500 ringgit was considered legally sufficient, even if it was a very small amount.
Consideration is a key element of a valid contract. It must flow from the promiser's desire and legal value.
And the Malaysian Contract Act provides clear rules and exceptions under Section 26.
Thank you for watching.